Hey, everybody. I'm so glad to be on here with you guys again. Brandon and I are excited to do this call today, my friends. So, anyways, Brandon, thanks for being on. How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling great. I can't wait to talk about all that we have to share because everybody's been asking about it. And we have a whole
Yes.
list of questions to go along with that.
Yes. So, I want to start off by saying, yes, this podcast, we are talking about the R0AR Node Sales. So, the R0AR chain has been public in beta for a long time. Testnet's been live forever. We've made it over to the newest version of the Ethereum or Optimism stack on the newest version of Ethereum after a few months now being public.
Yep.
Beyond beta, we have a lot of development that's going on it, and it is time for us to decentralize and start to sell nodes. So here's what I want to do. I want to start with just some of the information that our team has gotten together, share with you some of the reason why and the what. Then we'll jump into the details of it because those are the nuggets you all really want. But anyway, we're democratizing layer two infrastructure is what we're doing while we are rewarding community participation. So it's really, and this is not just us saying it, it's like folks around in the world saying, in this crypto world, that this is kind of a new thing. It's a first of kind node sales that enables community ownership of high performance DeFi infrastructure on the Optimism stack. And so right now, R0AR chain has been upgraded so that it is functioning with, of course, Ethereum. It's in the OP stack. We're getting ready to go through the next upgrade that OP requires, the Optimism team requires for us to be able to be in the super chain. And while doing that, we're decentralizing. And so we really are pushing forward with cutting edge technology here with the help of our partners in this space, the Zeev team, who is a partner of ours, the OP or Optimism team, who are the geniuses and the legends that have developed the OP layer two chain or Optimism layer two chain, as well as some outside team members that are making sure that things are audited and done well. So today we just want to announce that it is going live. We're going to enable global participation and for you guys, everyone to own what's really in a part of critical infrastructure for our R0AR chain layer 2 network. So you're going to be able to own and operate it. So in the next coming weeks, this is just the first information we're getting out. But over the next couple weeks, we're going to
Yes.
be rolling out these node sales. We're going to give you a timeline real soon. It's getting exciting. So you're going to be able to be a part of that. Individuals, institutions worldwide can actually purchase a R0AR node license, and then you can be a part of earning validator rewards while contributing to the decentralization of our next generation financial infrastructure. So this marks really a pivotal moment for us in our journey in decentralized finance. It cannot be understated how big this is for our ecosystem. As R0AR becomes one of the first layer twos in this OP family to offer community owned validator infrastructure participation. And we're doing it through this structured sales or node sales program. And we're going to combine the security of Ethereum with the accessibility of community participation here. So, what are we doing? Well, we're solving the infrastructure ownership gap in layer twos. Again, we're not doing this on our own. This is with the help of the
Right.
amazing Optimism team, of course, Zeev and our partnership, and our other developers that are with us. We recognize that layer two solutions have really exploded in adoption. Optimistic rollups have been processing over $15 billion in total value locked transactions and total value locked. Most of the infrastructure remains centralized among a handful of institutional validators when it comes to these layer twos. But R0AR's node sale is going to democratize that critical infrastructure and allow anyone to own and operate a validator node with minimal requirements. We'll get into those what those requirements are very shortly. And you're going to be able to earn rewards that are directly related to that participation in securing the network. So traditional layer twos, they really ask users to trust centralized sequencers and validators if you think about how they work. And what we really want to do is flip that model and give our community direct ownership of part of the infrastructure. That decentralization, we're always going to harken back to the original core values of why we started in this world of Web3, decentralization. So we want to democratize that infrastructure, allowing anyone to be a part of it. And so as DeFi alone approaches a projected $231 billion in market value by 2030, the infrastructure supporting these protocols also must evolve from centralized gatekeepers to community-owned networks that align incentives between users, validators, and the protocol itself. So this is where technical innovation is going to meet community empowerment, and you are a part of that. So I'm just excited it's going to happen right here, right now, and in this journey of 2025 to 2026. Guys, you're in it. So with that said, Brandon, let's talk a little bit about, how folks can participate, the tiers of node sales, the licensing process, and even the fact that licenses are going to come through NFTs and minting, all the functions we love, rarities, whatnot. Share some of that with us.
Yeah, thanks. Man, you said a mouthful, but there was a lot of really good information in what you just said. I don't want to breeze past that too quickly. But moving into what you were asking about, the pricing tiers, right, is the first thing we should talk about. So we've planned initial 5 tiers, right? There could always be more, I think, later on, but the first 5 is where we are. 1,500 nodes are what's available in tier 1, right? In tier 1, that's amazing. We're able to get in for $300 per node, right? Tell me, what is it to get in on an Ethereum node? I mean, you got to sell a kidney, I think. That's not an issue here. Anybody can participate, that's within reach for many people. So I love the fact that you can be an early adopter. You can get in with tier 1, 1,500 available. They're going to go quick though, I think. Tier 2, we've got 3,000 available. Those will be at $500, so just a slight price increase. Tier 3, we've got 15,000 at $750. Tier 4 is 35,000 nodes at $1,000, and then tier 5 is 25,000 nodes at 2,000. So those are our tiers. That's a total of 79,500. You want me to talk about the rarity levels as well? Because that's where it starts to get exciting for me.
I mean, you just told us all about these tiers we can get in at, and I'm going to say this, I'm getting in tier 1. People are asking all, what's the limitation? It's going to be 10 nodes per user per wallet. So when you get in, take your chance. You're going to have to go through the process. You'll see it in a minute. If you want 10, get 10. But at the same time, you can get in for 1. And before we go any further, I know a lot of folks have questions on what does it take minimum, to get into the system and actually be able to participate? What's the minimum system requirements or whatever? And so a lot of stuff is really huge, but this isn't. It's not going to take getting a miner or anything like that. If you've got the hardware storage that is 250 gigs on a solid state drive, you want to make sure it's bigger than that, because it's going to increase as the chain height increases over time. But again, you can start at 250 gigs, solid state drive, 16 gigs of RAM, and 8 vCPU. So pretty much you got 8 total cores. Guys, that's not a lot. That's almost like a laptop nowadays. I'm just saying, think about the fact that you can jump in and have that. And then we're going to answer another question that folks have been asking here. We'll answer it again in a minute. You don't even have to have that hardware to get in. If you want to be a part of this, you can get a node license, and there's pooling options, so you can be a part of node pools, which, again, that's a big option folks have done for years inside the world of, mining and crypto and whatever. So it's really an open door for anyone. Now, Brandon, back to you.
Yes.
Show and tell, baby. We love NFTs here. We love bringing NFTs back. Brandon's going to show and tell a bit about our node license NFTs that are non-transferable. We'll answer that question again. They're only to your wallet, non-transferable. Get ready to be blown away. Show us, Brandon.
So the first thing I want to say is you might be getting in stage one as well as I will, but I'm getting in all of the tiers just so I can get all these NFTs. Man, I'll tell you what, I had so much fun developing this, and I can't wait to share. So first, I want to share the Grail level, which you get for getting in to tier one. Right? This is the first folks in. Man, look at this handsome lion. Got the crown, got the chalice. That is one of my favorites. But it gets better. As the tiers progress, we go to legendary. We've got our lion here in the knight's armor. This is the legendary NFT. Glad to share that one. Then we
Hey,
go
real
to
quick, I'm going
epic,
to
right?
interrupt. Go
Looking for
back to
adventure.
Grail. Grail didn't show up at
Yeah,
first. Show us Grail again.
it didn't show up.
No, there it
Oh
is.
man,
Come
are
on.
are we sharing now? There it is.
Boom.
The handsome lion with his crown and his chalice. I'm loving that one, man. All right, we'll go back. Another sneak peek back at legendary, and then we go to epic, looking for that adventure.
I love that. I love that idea.
Rare, type of guy that gets out and gets things done.
Heck yeah.
And we called it common initially, but I changed it a little bit to not so
That's
common.
right.
Looking forward to the future. So those were the NFTs that we developed, and they will gladly be transferred to your wallet when you sign up, and they're non-transferable. Did we mention that? So once it's there, it's yours.
That's it. And so, again, folks have asked over and over, is there a lock period? Is it transferable? There is not a lock period because it is non-transferable. So
Okay.
once you get it, you own it, and you cannot transfer it to another place. Make sure you use the wallet you want to use for that license. It's going to relate to that. And as well, you know us and how we use smart contracting with non-fungible tokens because you've seen our ERS NFTs, which of course gives you early access to this node sales situation.
Mhm.
But we're taking the data out of these NFTs, guys. They're on your wallet, and we're baking it into our systems. So for
Mhm.
access to our systems, we're using it for keyways, tokens, governance, as well as stick it into our logic for our AI when it gives you alpha information. The higher your tier, the better. So the earlier you get in, the higher
Mhm.
your rarity. So get in
That's right.
early for the highest rarity because that's going to affect everything here. Someone else asked, does it affect your return? No, that does not affect your return. The return is the same across nodes and it's going to be equal, but it does affect the stuff you do all the way around our system if you're utilizing that wallet well. Okay, my turn to share some images. Give me 1 second to bring them up. Um, you guys, I'm loving even the look of the platform. I'll walk you through going into the platform and utilizing it to make a purchase. We've got some screenshots here, and I'm bringing them up. First one is here. Let me share this. It is gorgeous. The team has outdone themselves,
It's
guys.
beautiful.
This is gorgeous. Love it. So, yes, that lion is just a little out of focus, making that big old roar in the background. And I'll show you right here on the screen. When you come here, you're going to want to make sure to agree to your terms and then connect your wallet. Again, make sure that the wallet is set that you intend to use to have this non-transferable token added to it. That's super crucial because you can't go backwards. Trust me, I have messed this up more times than once in the practice of it. And once you confirm your wallet, you will go through KYC after that. And that's your know your client stuff you've had to do with crypto anywhere else if you're using platforms. So as you go through the KYC process, which is really kind of immediate, it's very quick in the blockchain. We use block pass KYC.
Mhm.
But when you do it, it's going to connect your wallet that you're on to that KYC and your identity, and that sticks. That's not going to change. Trust me, you're going to make sure you have the right wallet, or you're going to have problems like I did. But anyways, that's the first one. So let me find the next one real quick. Looking at step 2, when you get here, you can see what it looks like inside of the actual page itself. Let me get this up where you can see it full screen. There we go. And so you can add your
There we
nodes
go.
here, pick how many you want to get. You can choose your payment, and then you could do your sign your message and whatever. Once the KYC is through, you can click through and get it. But let me show you this because people have asked this question as well, and that is, Dustin, is it going to be available in R0AR tokens? And yes, it is. Our R0AR token will be right here, and it will actually be beneficial to use R0AR if you got it. So you may want to even go trade for it to get it, because R0AR, the one R0AR token, is actually going to be discounting your price at 10% off when you use it. So I want to say here, you want to make sure to use one R0AR. So go get your one R0AR. You can get that off the R0AR platform very easily. You can buy it on exchanges. There's a couple that have a Spitmart and Mexi. Get one R0AR token, utilize it, and you'll save 10% right off the bat, as well as when you use it, guys, we're actually building in every part of our system burn mechanisms. You'll see more and more of that, which makes that token even more valuable as it becomes deflationary in everything we do. So for me, and I want to encourage you, you can use Ethereum, USDT, or USDC, but you're going to get the best price if you use the one R0AR token and buy it. So anyways, that's that. What's next on our information? Let's look.
Man, a 10% discount. That sounds great.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's no joke. I mean, 10% off, especially if you're getting more than one, that's a big deal, like it adds up
Yeah,
quick. So, anyways, love, love,
sure
love,
does.
love those graphics, Brandon. Great job on that. Zeev team, great job on getting us
Thank
that
you.
Node Sales platform. Love it, love it. Okay. Now, again, we teased you a little bit about the benefits of the NFT. Our NFT is going to be treated differently from the Executive R0AR Society NFT that we have on OpenSea, but it will have preferential treatment everywhere else, very similarly to that NFT. Governance is built into this. People have asked, how do we get involved with governance? Well, there's the R0AR Country Club, and folks that are OGs in it are part of our governing body in our community. We've got the one R0AR token, which in the later next phase, by the end of 2025, is actually going to be able to do proposals and be a part of the governance process. And then if you're an operator of a node, you will be a part with that node license in some of the governance process, especially when it comes to the chain and the rewards and the percentages itself. So there's value in it there. You'll want to be a part of that. All right. R0AR Node Sales questions from the community. The first one we had asked was, are the nodes paid, are the returns paid in USDT, ETH, or one R0AR tokens? So just to clear this up, the first thing to know about the R0AR chain is it's on the Optimism stack. So it's part of the OP system of chains. And that means that we run in very similar way to every other Optimism chain out there. Now, we do have the right to decide what we want our gas token to be, but the standard operating procedure to make sure that you're in play to be in the super chain is to make sure that your gas on your chain, what pays the bills when you've got fees, is Ethereum. And so every transaction that happens in that chain, everything that's going on, the total value locked, staking, whatever happens in that chain, it's happening in Ethereum, and that's what that reward is, because you're a part and participant of the validation of the process. So it comes from the validating of the chain, and it'll be Ethereum standard. And then the second one is, what are the expected returns for nodes? The self-hosting versus pools, including daily, weekly, monthly estimates. That's coming soon. We are still in final details with the development team. Phase 2 actually goes into testing next week for the nodes themselves in the test net. So that's crazy. I mean, we're going to be upgrading our chain and testing the nodes in phase 2 like now. It's happening quick. And as we get through it, we'll be able to monitor and know what those are clearly. Our chain is very, very, very inexpensive to use. And so you'll see that it's really cool because we can bring in a ton of users for especially high speed, intense transactions in the DeFi space. or folks that may be in the NFT space. If they're doing huge chunks, we now have the ability to work in blobs, so huge chunks can be placed into um, the finalization in Ethereum blockchain, and it saves a lot of money. And as you saw at the top of the call, a lot of the funds are going over into layer twos to do this process. So all of those fees, everything that's in that process, that's what you're a part of, and you're getting to be a part of it altogether. So, Brandon, you want to answer number 3? I think you know the answer to this one.
Are the node sales transferable or sellable, and is there any kind of a lockup period? The answer is, well, no, there's no lockup period, but they are non-transferable. Once they're in your wallet, they are yours.
I feel like we may have said it once, but we're going to keep saying it again. They're non-transferable, so there's no lockup period because they're not going to transfer. We had 3 other questions from the community. I'll speak out what those are, but we are still in the works. It's a coming soon answer, but we want to answer all the questions that the community brought to us. We honor that. So the first question is, where can node earnings be tracked? That's coming soon. There'll be dashboarding and whatnot. You'll be able to see it. The next one is, are there tools to simplify self-hosting nodes? Guys, you know us. We're going to develop that kind of thing, but that's, again, another coming soon conversation. And then what staking pools are available and what are their hosting fees and percentages? Those will be revealed shortly as well. We haven't made it to the final testing of that process yet, but when we do, we'll do that. We'll run some metrics. Then we'll actually give all the details on it. But you know us. At the end of the day, this is our heart for our community. We would rather put money back into our community and build a very, very committed, brand evangelist filled community than be greedy or at any level as a protocol. And really, at the end of the day, this is all being given over into the decentralized autonomous organization of the community that owns the governance over the next 10 years. So the real deal is we're going to be abundant, and we'll make sure that we're transparent and you guys know right up off the top. Brandon, you want to hit number 7?
Sure. What types of nodes are offered? Are they full, light, validator? The truth is, we are offering full self-hosted nodes, or you could do a pooled license option.
I love that because it gives the maximum ability for folks to participate, you know? Plus, keeping the node sales price on the lower end of what other projects have launched them at, it really does give you more people a chance to get in. And we did it in the Ethereum space for the first part of the launch. So folks don't have to bridge tokens over to be able to trade to get it. We try to make this as frictionless as possible for everyone. I got the next one. Is there a limit on node purchases per wallet or user? And yes, that's 10. So 10 per user / wallet. And folks, I know a lot of folks figure out ways to work around systems and whatnot, but this is a very fair launch. And so, to be honest, the platform itself has the KYC built in. And that's why when I messed it up, I really messed it up for myself because I used the wrong wallet and it's attached to my personal KYC and all of my personal information in BlockPass now forever. And actually, it does go out of there, I think, every 30 days. They verify and then they release that. So even your private information is not held forever, and even our partner stuff. So we don't do anything with your personal information, your private information, but it does lock that wallet to that user ID. And so it's going to be hard to be able to break that or get around it unless you're more slick and got more creative ideas than I've got. So, but 10 per wallet.
Yeah. That's awesome, Dustin. Thank you. I got the next one. Is there a burn mechanism for buying nodes with R0AR? And are there incentives for using R0AR over other tokens? And the answer is yes. We have a burn mechanism built into our system. And additionally, there's a 10% discount for using R0AR to purchase. So it's win-win for everybody. Get in, use R0AR.
That's it. You guys will see everywhere we are, we have a very deflationary ecosystem, not inflationary, deflationary. And we've done that on purpose with the idea that it could go hundreds of years and still be functional. by actually making sure that our token itself that we utilize in our system is backwards compatible 18 digits. And that's a standard operating procedure for most tokens. So in essence, you can fractionalize one R0AR back 18 digits backwards. And that gives it a lot of opportunity for both there to be deflationary as far as the tokens themselves being out there, but it can actually rise in price at the same time. If you understand that, it's like, wow, that's huge. So we're building that deflationary mechanism in everything we do. If you look at our bridging and any of our systems, there is a burn built in, guys. We're building in the burn, baby. Feel the burn. Because we know that that's such a big deal. It's really adding value by creating that deflation versus inflation. Don't get me started on inflation. I'm going to go on to number 10.
Let's keep moving.
What does the whitelist entail? And, is it a 1 week early access? And you guys, most of the standard groups are doing 48 hours to 3 days. We're doing up to 5 days. So there'll be a 5 days whitelisting process for those that have R0AR and early adopter. I mean, R0AR. The ERS NFT. So if you have an ERS NFT, you get an early. If you recognize the difference in prices of tiers and you realize maybe I should have one of those to get in earlier, maybe you want to go grab one on OpenSea. But anyways, if you've got an ERS NFT or you're an early adopter, an OG, and you've got that access with one of our NFTs we dropped on your wallets, like the little gift bag we gave out at Christmas or whatever, they have value. You'll be able to get in early, 5 days early on this process when it goes live. And so that can be huge. We don't know how fast these will sell. We're expecting to sell them over the next weeks to months. And you guys, we're up for as much decentralization as we can get because there's super huge value being decentralized. And we'll talk about that in a minute and alleviate all your worries about being too decentralized or too not scarce enough. So do you want to take number 11, Brandon?
Sure. How secure are the staking pools? And has the node platform or the smart contracts been audited? And the answer is yes. Of course, everything we do is secure. All of this is monitored and audited by an outside firm, our partner Zeev, and the Optimism team. We are only able to offer this with their oversight and approval as we develop together. This is a new approach, but it's part of the OP stack.
Yeah, so honestly, we're always, when it comes to a partner, we're going to march to the beat of that drum. Mm-hmm. And so we're staying, hip to hip. What we want to do at the end of the day is we want to make sure we're in line to be a part of the super chain. That's a given. That's why when the OP team came to us recently and said, we're going to upgrade, we're going to add some ZK, I don't know if I'm supposed to leak that, but I did. So anyways, we're our rollups are optimistic, but they're going to add support for ZK rollups. And so we're like, hey, put us in, if you're doing it immediately, if that's where we're going, let's do it. We want to make sure that we're part of the super chain. Why is that?
That's right.
Because if you launch something on our protocol, you launch something on our chain, you put out an app, a token, an NFT, or anything else, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to build every application we can to make that as super easy as possible. And I'm going to give you our goal, almost my promise, is that within this year, by the end of 2025, that you will have frictionless opportunities to be able to utilize our chain to onboard and offboard assets through wallets or whatever, as well as be able to do anything you want to build tokens, launch your own token, your own project, your own NFT or dApp on our chain. That's my end game and my goal, and I'm working nights and weekends to make it happen, let alone what the team is doing. That's our commitment. But we're going to stay hip to hip with the OP team as best as we can, because we want to make sure that when you do take some of our frictionless on-ramps, that you never want to off-ramp, because it will be native across multiple chains. Can you imagine launching on our chain super cheap with no friction and not having to be a high-end developer coder, and all of a sudden your token or NFT or whatever you've done will run across all the way to the base Coinbase's chain that's part of the OP stack or Optimism chain? That's pretty incredible. You don't have to launch on multiple chains. You don't have to bridge. It can be available directly. So that's what we're working for, and that's why we're hip to hip with them. And we're committed to that. If they say jump, we say how high. and how long do you want us to stay in the air? We can do it. So we've had other concerns for questions. One of the concerns I'll answer is this. Folks are asking about node supply. They're like 79,500 may dilute scarcity and rewards. And can I just tell you, if you're massively running up use and TVL on the chain, which is what we're pushing towards through the end of this year, as you see the R0AR platform go
Mm-hmm.
from season one that was on Ethereum only onto our chain. As we bring in over the rewards and
Right.
we TVL over, we lock it up on our chain, and then we start encouraging folks to use our wallet. And then we start building on ramps for other chains as well as off ramps. But we start
Mm-hmm.
building in more of our applications in use, and that TVL goes up, the value goes up and what transactions are going on. That could radically go up for a short period of time. I don't even want to get into how much Coinbase has in its base chain and transactions. And they don't have partners like this. We do. We're offering you a seat at the table before we launch and take off. And we're heading into, it looks like a crypto bull run, right? So at 79,500 nodes, that isn't even a fraction of what like Ethereum has. Now, Ethereum has a node infrastructure, and our terms are a little different because the way we're utilizing what we're doing, you'd have to also include their validators. And so, between their node infrastructure and their validator count, they have over 1 million, almost 1,030,000 active validators and nodes together. So, if you
Wow.
look at that mass, it's not just you don't just look at how many active nodes are there on Ethereum. Ethereum was proof of work to with proof of stake. And then there became the pooling process. You have to actually look at what the validators are because you're going to be a part of that kind of framework for us. So
Mm-hmm.
your nodes are like those to us. And so in our world, there's no extra validators. There's our chain, the validator, we execute, it goes into the Ethereum blockchain for finalization or final validation, and it's locked in contract. And on our chain, it's only so where there would be 1 million participants in the Ethereum ecosystem, there are only 79,500 in ours. So that's kind of exciting. I want to tell you, that's exciting. So, Brandon, do you want to hit the next one?
Sure. So if rewards are static, will per node returns shrink as more nodes are sold? And the answer is, of course, no. Those reward pools will be there.
We want it to go up. I don't know about you, but I like it
Yeah.
when money goes up.
Yes.
Up is the trajectory we're shooting for, not down, not sideways, up. So, yeah. Number three, tokenomics and reward details. Folks want to know the yield and APR per node, the funding source. The funding source, I can tell you, it's going to be actually, like I said, you're part of the emissions and transactions on the actual blockchain. So you're helping validate what's going on there, and your node is running and doing functions to secure the network as well as to finalize the blocks. And as that's
Mhm.
happening, you're getting a part of that emission or transaction. So it's coming from that, not from the treasury and not whatever. Now the question is will we do things that benefit our community to those non-transferable NFTs? Yes, always. So we have other projects that are coming to market. We have other um, amazing kinds of airdrops and whitelisting opportunities are coming, and those NFTs will always be a part of it. So that wallet will always be considered because we'll always pull that data even in what we're doing with our I'm going to leak here leaderboard that's coming. You will get better, you're going to get participation value if you have an NFT that's one of these node NFTs and if it's doing the work or if you're part of a pool or whatever. So again, that's exciting. um, Lock up or claim schedule, no, it's just we're not doing that. And then our rewards tier weighted or equal, so I can answer those. The yield and
Yep.
APR will come as soon as we finish up some of the final details and we engrade that code.
Mhm.
All right, Brandon, you got the next one?
I probably do. We're okay. Do node holders receive transaction fees, staking income, validator incentives, or inflationary emissions? And the answer, of course, is validator incentives, as well as governance access and fees as more is added to the ecosystem. Kind
Yeah,
of tying onto what you just said.
yeah, it goes
I think,
together.
yeah, it's all together.
I mean, a lot of folks, and again, these are questions from the community. So when we're on these podcasts, please share your questions, especially in our Telegram group. If you're not in it, get in our Telegram group. You can find the link to join on our website at R0AR.io. Follow us on Twitter. We all or X.com. We always release stuff there. But get in our Telegram group and ask questions, because these questions are coming from our community, and we love answering your questions. We want to share things that bring you value and help to answer these questions that you got. A couple more key questions. Again, what are the expected rewards per node, daily, weekly, monthly? It's not publicly available yet. And then I'll hit the next one. How are rewards funded? Fees, emissions, treasury. I'm seeing this real pattern, Brandon, that folks
Yes.
they really want to get a part of these rewards. Can I just tell you, we're going to reward you the best way we can, every way we can. At the end of the day, we love sharing. Sharing is caring. So, anyways, yeah, we're gonna keep it coming. You've heard the answers to these already. Number 3, I'll hit it too because it's the same. Are rewards tier
Yes.
weighted or equal per node? Equal per node. However, the rarity of the license of that NFT affects the rest of the ecosystem. So get in early, get the higher rarity, pay less money. But at
That's right.
any point you get in, get in. Like there's no bad place to get in. Get in. These are not transferable, so there's no secondary market on them. They're not coming back. When it's done, it is done. When it closes, it is closed. All right. You hit number
That's
4?
right. Yeah. Is there a lockup or vesting period? And can nodes be sold or transferred? I feel like we've talked about this before. No, there is not. There is not a lockup or vesting period, and no, they are not transferable.
Do nodes offer governance or utility beyond the yield? And I put on here that this is utility that's to be added in phase 2, as well as what I've mentioned earlier on the call. And then has the smart contractor node perform or platform been audited and it's answered above? Honestly, I'll tell you something about the way we do things. We test. We have, if we're with a larger partner, that partner's doing testing and auditing, and then they're looked at by another partner like the OP team. Then on top of that,
Mhm.
we test and audit ourselves. And then on top of that, we take it
Yeah.
through AI audits. And then on top of that, we'll often take the code and copy paste it, drop it into another AI auditor and audit there. And then on top of that, if finally we make the code public, now it's sometimes there's reasons not to make the code public, but if we make the code
Mhm.
public, like we did with the R0AR token or the ERS NFT or whatever on Ethereum or Etherscan, we can audit there. And there's other auditors that audit you externally, and then you can add that as well. And so we're of the mindset of audit, 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 test, and audit some more. So, yes, we're
Mhm.
auditing and we're worried about security big time everywhere you go. And the way even the Node Sales platform is set up is best of class and
Mhm.
cutting edge in the way it even functions for security and for us to be able to manage the process. Again, I've had to learn stuff. The teams learn stuff. We've learned stuff together. It is cutting edge.
Absolutely. So what happens after all 79,500 nodes are sold? Will rewards be capped, diluted, or inflationary? And currently, nothing is actually built into the system to change these rewards. However, the community can vote, to make those changes in the future if they want to.
My thinking is as long as they'll go and as long as they'll run, if we ever need to add or if there's ever an update to the way the system works in the future with the OP team, it's great to be able to add or do more. But as long as these will run and do what they're doing, we don't mess with things that work. If something works, don't break it.
That's
There's no
right.
reason to fix something that's not broken. So, but that's our thinking, and we're just going to keep folks getting rewarded. We don't tend to look under the couch cushions and get greedy in life to try to find a couple more pennies. We would rather
Mhm.
create new things that generate new revenue as look for ways to make more revenue internally, if that makes sense. So
That's
we'll
right.
always do things better to make revenue better, but we also want to be generous and be the kind of people that are abundant. The last thing is what's the minimum ROI timeline for a tier 1 node? And that'll come soon. We don't have those details yet, only because we need to run it, see it, and test it in final
Mhm.
production. And so we'll get all of that. we'll all likely have all of it before the node sales actually start. But we need to get out in front of this and start talking about it, because we're going to be right on top of the node sales starting if we're not careful and not have told you
Yeah.
all about it as far as we could. So, guys, we're early in. You're early in. It is exciting. This is the time. The ROAR chain is raging. It is on fire. Y'all, the hash graphing that's built in, the support for developers, the trace size systems that are built in, the APIs from the OP team that I've been utilizing on platforms I'm building are incredible. I'm working on literally 26 projects at the moment. One that just got released today that are built on our chain. And it is incredible, the speed, the transactions, the low cost, and the power and the reach and the ability to get so much data is amazing. So get in, do not miss out. I would not sit on this one for a minute. I'm not going to tell you how to invest. We don't give investment advice, but I'm going to tell you that I want you with us in this journey, in this community, and with this node process. And if you're able to join us early, do not wait. Get in early. Get in and get a Grail on your wallet with that NFT license, because it's pretty and it's going to be bling and cred in the future, because you're a part of the OG decentralization team of the ROAR chain. So, Brandon, you have anything else to add?
Man, 26 projects. I feel like we're bringing some value. I mean, that's a lot of vaporware, really.
I'm excellent at that stuff. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
vaporware
No,
is my favorite.
it's exciting, man. All that is coming to fruition. Even what we've already brought, right, is getting better and better by the day. And then to see all these new projects coming forward is amazing. And I just
Yep.
encourage everybody to get involved, be a part of the community. Community is really everything.
Yes. I don't want to steal the thunder from Node Sales, but know this, like I mentioned, ROAR platform is going over to the ROAR chain with season 2 of rewards that are going to be on it for staking, farming, and more. The ROAR wallet, all
Yeah.
3 versions out there, are about to be in 2.0, and it is going to make it where on ramping and off ramping is built in. Wow. Number 3, there's a project I just launched today that I didn't tell you about yet. Number 4, the Penthouse Suite is on its way for ERS holders, which has the Roracle built in that we went back to scratch on, so we
Mhm.
could make it the central hub of all of our learning in our ecosystem. My goodness, friends, this might be a good year to get involved with the ROAR. Don't miss out. Follow us on X. Follow
Mhm.
us wherever you're watching us here. You know, keep joining in and encouraging us on this podcast. And of course, when it comes time in the next weeks, keep your eyes open. You're going to turn your notifications on X, because you'll see it there first. When they go live in the node sales, you're going to want to get it fast. Y'all have a good one. Brandon, thanks for being on. You guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time. Boom.
Take care, everyone.